Chapter 2: Philosophy of Science, Misconceptions and Misapplications. In his role as the cosmic skeptic, Alex O'Connor frequently invokes the authority of science to challenge Christian claims about the origins of life, the possibility of miracles, and the existence of a divine creator. Science, for O'Connor, is the ultimate arbiter of truth, and anything that cannot be empirically verified is dismissed as speculative or irrelevant. However, this heavy reliance on scientism, a philosophical stance that elevates science as the sole or primary source of knowledge, reveals a critical misunderstanding of the nature and limits of scientific inquiry. In this chapter, we will examine how O'Connor misapplies scientific theories to critique Christian doctrines. We will also explore the philosophical errors inherent in his reliance on scientism, highlighting why this approach fails to address the deeper metaphysical and theological claims of Christianity. Scientism, a flawed philosophical foundation. At the heart of O'Connor's critique of Christianity lies a deep commitment to scientism. Scientism is the belief that science is the only valid method for acquiring knowledge about reality, and that anything outside its scope, such as metaphysical truths or theological claims, is either unknowable or non-existent. O'Connor's worldview is steeped in this perspective, as he often dismisses religious explanations as unscientific and therefore false. However, this philosophical stance is self-defeating. Scientism itself is not a scientific claim, but a philosophical one. It cannot be empirically tested or verified, meaning it fails its own standard of validity. If science is truly the only source of knowledge, then scientism collapses under the weight of its internal inconsistency. Moreover, scientism misunderstands the purpose and scope of science. Science is a method of investigating the natural world, designed to describe how things work through observation, experimentation, and hypothesis testing. It excels at answering how questions, but is ill-equipped to address why questions, questions of ultimate meaning, purpose, and origin. For example, while science can explain the chemical reactions that occur in a sunset, it cannot tell us why the beauty of a sunset moves us so deeply. Similarly, science can study the physical processes of the universe, but it cannot answer why the universe exists in the first place, or whether it has a creator. By relying on scientism, O'Connor overestimates the explanatory power of science, using it to critique Christianity in ways that fall outside its legitimate domain. Misuse of scientific theories. O'Connor frequently appeals to scientific theories, such as evolution and the laws of nature, to argue against Christian claims. However, his use of these theories often involves misconceptions or misapplications that distort their actual implications. 1. Evolution and the origins of life. One of O'Connor's central critiques of Christianity is its affirmation of divine creation. He argues that evolution provides a sufficient explanation for the diversity of life and eliminates the need for a creator. According to O'Connor, natural selection and random mutation account for the complexity of life, rendering the biblical account of creation unnecessary. However, this argument is based on a false dichotomy between evolution and divine creation. Many Christians, including prominent theologians and scientists, accept the theory of evolution while affirming that God is the ultimate source of life. This perspective, known as theistic evolution, sees no conflict between the scientific account of biological processes and the theological claim that God is the creator. Evolution explains the mechanism by which life develops, but it does not address the origin of life itself, or the metaphysical question of why there is something rather than nothing. Furthermore, O'Connor overlooks the significant philosophical challenges posed by evolution as a purely naturalistic process. For example, the fine-tuning of the universe, the precise conditions necessary for life to exist, raises profound questions about the likelihood of a life-permitting cosmos arising by chance. While evolution may explain how life develops, it does not explain why the universe is structured in such a way as to make life possible. These questions point beyond science to the necessity of a designer. 2. The laws of nature and miracles. Another frequent target of O'Connor's critiques is the Christian belief in miracles. O'Connor argues that miracles violate the laws of nature and are therefore implausible. For him, the regularity of the natural world as described by science makes miraculous events highly unlikely. This objection rests on a misunderstanding of both miracles and the laws of nature. The laws of nature describe the regular patterns and processes of the natural world under normal conditions. However, miracles by definition are extraordinary acts of God that temporarily transcend these regularities. They are not violations of natural laws, but rather instances where a higher cause, the creator of those laws, chooses to act in a unique way. Philosopher C.S. Lewis offers a helpful analogy. If a person deposits money into a bank account regularly, those deposits represent the laws governing the account. However, if someone outside the system, a philanthropist, decides to add money to the account unexpectedly, this does not violate the rules, it simply adds something new. Similarly, God's intervention in the natural world through miracles does not invalidate the laws of nature, but demonstrates His sovereignty over creation. O'Connor's reliance on the regularity of natural laws to dismiss miracles also fails to address the historical evidence for specific, miraculous events, such as the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The resurrection is not merely a claim about natural processes, but a historical event attested by multiple witnesses and transformed lives. Dismissing it on the grounds of scientific improbability ignores the broader historical and theological context in which it is claimed to have occurred. Science and divine action. One of O'Connor's recurring arguments is that science has rendered divine action unnecessary. He suggests that as science explains more about the natural world, the gaps that were once attributed to God are increasingly filled by natural explanations. This, God of the gaps reasoning, according to O'Connor, is a flawed approach to theology. While O'Connor is correct to critique the God of the gaps approach, he misunderstands the Christian concept of divine action. Christianity does not posit God as a mere gap filler for unexplained phenomena. Instead, God is understood as the creator and sustainer of the entire universe, actively upholding all of existence. Scientific explanations describe how God works through natural processes, but they do not negate His role as the ultimate cause. For example, the discovery of gravity does not disprove the existence of God, rather, it reveals the order and intelligibility of the universe that reflects God's nature. Similarly, the development of biological processes like evolution does not undermine the claim that God is the source of life. Science and theology address different levels of causation. Science focuses on secondary causes, natural mechanisms, while theology addresses primary causation, the ultimate source. Conclusion: the limits of science in addressing faith. Alex O'Connor's reliance on scientism and his misapplication of scientific theories reveal a fundamental misunderstanding of both science and Christianity. By elevating science to the ultimate authority on all matters, he oversteps its legitimate boundaries and neglects the deeper questions of meaning, purpose, and ultimate reality that lie beyond its scope. Science is a powerful tool for understanding the natural world, but it is not equipped to address the metaphysical and theological claims at the heart of Christianity. Faith in God is not opposed to science, but enriched by it, as both seek to uncover the truth about the world and our place within it. As Christians, we can confidently affirm that the God who created the universe is the same God who reveals Himself in Scripture and history, a truth that transcends the limits of scientific inquiry. Chapter 9: The Test of Coherence, Evaluating His Worldview. One of the most Chapter 9: The Test of Coherence, Evaluating His Worldview. One of the most important tests for any worldview is the test of coherence. Does it provide a consistent and rational framework for understanding reality? Alex O'Connor's naturalistic atheism, which denies the existence of God and embraces a purely materialistic understanding of the universe, claims to offer such a framework. However, a closer examination reveals significant logical and moral inconsistencies that undermine the coherence of his worldview. In this chapter, we will evaluate the coherence of O'Connor's naturalism and demonstrate how it fails to adequately explain the fundamental aspects of reality. 1. Logical inconsistencies in naturalistic atheism. Naturalism asserts that everything in existence can be explained through natural processes and material causes. O'Connor's worldview relies heavily on this assumption, rejecting the possibility of anything supernatural. However, this foundation leads to several logical inconsistencies. A. The problem of origins. One of the most significant challenges for naturalism is explaining the origin of the universe. O'Connor often appeals to scientific theories such as the Big Bang to dismiss the necessity of a creator. However, these theories only describe the development of the universe after its inception. They do not explain why the universe exists at all. Logical inconsistency. Naturalism relies on the principle of causality to explain everything within the universe but fails to apply this principle to the universe itself. If every effect within the universe requires a cause, then the universe as a whole must also have a cause. The naturalistic claim that the universe just exists is a violation of its own commitment to causal explanations. Christian perspective. The Christian worldview provides a coherent explanation for the universe's existence through the concept of a necessary eternal God who is the uncaused cause of all things. Unlike naturalism, this explanation satisfies the principle of causality without contradiction. B. The problem of consciousness. O'Connor's naturalism reduces human consciousness to purely physical processes in the brain. While this reductionist view is consistent with materialism, it fails to account for the subjective nature of conscious experience. Logical inconsistency. If consciousness is entirely the product of physical processes, then human thoughts, reasoning and beliefs are merely the result of chemical reactions. This raises a profound epistemological problem. How can we trust our reasoning faculties to arrive at truth if they are the product of blind, unguided processes? Naturalism undercuts the reliability of human reason, leading to self-defeating skepticism. Christian perspective. Christianity affirms that humans are created in the image of God, endowed with rational souls that enable genuine understanding of truth. This view preserves the coherence of reason and aligns with the reality of conscious experience. C. The problem of meaning. Naturalism asserts that meaning and purpose are subjective constructs, created by individuals rather than inherent in the universe. O'Connor frequently emphasizes the need for humans to create their own meaning. Logical inconsistency. If meaning is entirely subjective, then it is ultimately arbitrary and lacks any objective grounding. This undermines the very concept of meaning, reducing it to personal preference rather than something real or universal. O'Connor's claim that life can have real meaning within a naturalistic framework is incoherent, as naturalism denies any transcendent standard by which meaning can be measured. Christian perspective. Christianity offers a coherent account of meaning grounded in the existence of a creator who imbues life with purpose. The Christian worldview asserts that human beings are created for a relationship with God, providing an objective and universal foundation for meaning. 2. Moral inconsistencies in naturalistic atheism. O'Connor frequently critiques Christian morality, arguing that ethical systems can be constructed without reference to God. He appeals to concepts like human well-being and pleasure as the basis for morality. However, this approach leads to significant moral inconsistencies. A. The basis of objective morality. Naturalism denies the existence of any transcendent moral authority, asserting instead that morality arises from evolutionary processes or social agreements. Logical inconsistency. If morality is the product of evolution or social consensus, then it is necessarily subjective and relative. What is considered moral in one culture or era may be deemed immoral in another. O'Connor often argues for the existence of objective moral values, such as the inherent wrongness of suffering, but his naturalism provides no foundation for such claims. Without a transcendent moral standard, objective morality becomes incoherent. Christian perspective. Christianity grounds objective morality in the character of God, who is the ultimate standard of goodness. This framework provides a consistent explanation for the existence of universal moral truths, such as the value of human life and the wrongness of injustice. B. The problem of altruism. O'Connor argues that morality can be grounded in human well-being and pleasure. However, this utilitarian approach struggles to account for acts of genuine altruism, where individuals sacrifice their own well-being for the sake of others. Logical inconsistency. If morality is based solely on maximizing pleasure or minimizing pain, then self-sacrificial acts such as risking one's life to save a stranger become irrational. Naturalism cannot explain why humans feel a deep moral obligation to act against their own interests in such cases. Christian perspective. Christianity affirms that humans are called to love their neighbors as themselves, reflecting the self-sacrificial nature of God. This view coherently accounts for altruism and provides a moral framework that transcends self-interest. C. The problem of evil. O'Connor frequently critiques Christianity for failing to resolve the problem of evil. However, his naturalistic worldview offers no satisfactory explanation for the existence of evil. Logical inconsistency. If naturalism is true, then evil is merely a subjective label for behaviors or events that humans find unpleasant. This view reduces moral outrage to personal preference, stripping concepts like justice and injustice of their objective significance. O'Connor's frequent moral critiques of Christianity are therefore inconsistent with his own worldview, which denies the existence of objective evil. Christian perspective. Christianity acknowledges the reality of evil as a consequence of human free will and rebellion against God. It also offers a solution to the problem of evil through Christ's redemptive work, providing hope for ultimate justice and restoration. 3. The Christian worldview, a coherent alternative. In contrast to O'Connor's naturalistic atheism, the Christian worldview passes the test of coherence by providing consistent answers to the fundamental questions of existence, meaning, and morality. Existence. Christianity posits God as the necessary eternal cause of the universe, satisfying the principle of causality without contradiction. Consciousness. Christianity affirms the reality of human reason and consciousness as gifts from a rational creator, preserving the coherence of rational thought. Meaning. Christianity grounds meaning and purpose in the relationship between humanity and God, offering a universal and objective foundation for significance. Morality. Christianity provides a consistent basis for objective moral values and duties, grounded in the character of God. By addressing these questions in a coherent and unified manner, Christianity offers a worldview that aligns with both reason and experience. Conclusion. The incoherence of naturalistic atheism. Alex O'Connor's naturalistic atheism fails the test of coherence. Its logical inconsistencies, such as the inability to explain the origins of the universe, the reliability of reason, and the existence of meaning, undermine its claim to provide a rational framework for understanding reality. Similarly, its moral inconsistencies, such as the lack of a foundation for objective morality and the problem of altruism, render it incapable of addressing the deepest questions of human existence. In contrast, Christianity provides a coherent and comprehensive worldview that satisfies the intellectual, moral, and existential demands of reality. By rejecting this framework, O'Connor's critiques of Christianity fall short, leaving his own worldview vulnerable to the very challenges he raises against theism. Ultimately, the test of coherence reveals that the Christian worldview stands as a rational and compelling explanation of reality, offering answers that naturalism cannot provide. Chapter 10: The Test of Correspondence. Does his view align with reality? A key test for any worldview is its correspondence to reality, how well its claims align with evidence from history, science, and human experience. While Alex O'Connor's naturalistic atheism claims to offer a rational and evidence-based framework, it frequently falls short when measured against the test of correspondence. In this chapter, we will evaluate whether O'Connor's worldview aligns with reality and compare it to the explanatory power of Christianity. By examining evidence from history, science, and human experience, we will demonstrate that the Christian worldview provides a more comprehensive and accurate understanding of the world. 1. Evidence from history. A. The historical Jesus. One of the central claims of Christianity is that Jesus of Nazareth lived, died, and rose from the dead. O'Connor often critiques Christianity by dismissing the resurrection as a myth or legend. However, this dismissal contradicts the historical evidence. Historical evidence. The existence of Jesus is well documented by both Christian and non-Christian sources, such as the writings of Josephus and Tacitus. The resurrection is supported by multiple lines of evidence, including the empty tomb, the testimony of eyewitnesses, and the rapid growth of the early church despite persecution. The transformation of the disciples, who went from fearful fugitives to bold proclaimers of the resurrection, is best explained by their genuine belief that they had encountered the risen Christ. O'Connor's view. O'Connor often dismisses these historical claims as unverifiable or the result of psychological delusion. However, this explanation fails to account for the consistency and coherence of the resurrection accounts, as well as the willingness of the apostles to face martyrdom for their testimony. Christian perspective. Christianity offers a historically grounded explanation for the events surrounding Jesus, aligning with the evidence and providing a coherent account of the origins of the faith. B. The impact of Christianity on history. O'Connor frequently critiques Christianity by highlighting its historical flaws, such as the Crusades or the Inquisition. While these events are troubling, they do not define the essence of the Christian faith. Positive contributions. Christianity has been a driving force behind many of history's greatest achievements, including the development of universities, the scientific revolution, and the abolition of slavery. Christian ethics have shaped modern concepts of human rights, equality, and the inherent dignity of every individual. O'Connor's view. By focusing solely on the negative aspects of Christian history, O'Connor creates a skewed narrative that ignores the faith's transformative impact on human civilization. Christian perspective. Christianity provides a balanced view of history, acknowledging human sinfulness while highlighting the redemptive power of the gospel in shaping culture and morality. 2. Evidence from science. A. The fine-tuning of the universe. One of the most striking features of the natural world is the fine-tuning of the universe for life. The precise values of physical constants, such as the gravitational constant and the cosmological constant, allow for the existence of life in ways that appear extraordinarily improbable. O'Connor's view. O'Connor often attributes this fine-tuning to chance or the multiverse hypothesis, which posits the existence of countless universes with varying physical constants. Critique. The multiverse hypothesis is speculative and lacks empirical evidence. Chance alone cannot adequately account for the precise calibration of physical constants, as the odds are astronomically small. Christian perspective. Christianity provides a coherent explanation for fine-tuning by pointing to a purposeful creator who designed the universe with life in mind. This explanation aligns with the evidence and avoids the speculative leaps required by naturalism. B. The origins of life and consciousness. Naturalism struggles to explain the origin of life and the emergence of consciousness, both of which require leaps in complexity that defy purely materialistic explanations. O'Connor's view. O'Connor often appeals to evolutionary processes to explain these phenomena. However, evolution presupposes the existence of life and cannot account for its origin. Similarly, the reduction of consciousness to brain activity fails to address the subjective nature of experience. Christian perspective. Christianity provides a coherent account of life's origin, attributing it to the creative act of God. The existence of consciousness aligns with the Christian belief that humans are created in the image of a rational personal God. 3. Evidence from human experience. A. The universal search for meaning. Humans across cultures and history have sought answers to life's ultimate questions. Why are we here? What is our purpose? What happens after death? O'Connor's naturalism dismisses these questions as irrelevant, asserting that meaning is a subjective construct. O'Connor's view. O'Connor claims that individuals can create their own meaning through relationships, achievements, or experiences. However, this subjective approach fails to satisfy the universal human longing for ultimate purpose. Christian perspective. Christianity provides a compelling answer to the question of meaning, affirming that humans are created for a relationship with God. This objective purpose resonates with the human experience of longing for transcendence and fulfillment. B. Moral intuition. Humans possess a deep-seated sense of right and wrong, which transcends cultural and historical boundaries. O'Connor attempts to ground morality in human well-being, but this approach encounters significant challenges. O'Connor's view. By reducing morality to the maximization of pleasure or the minimization of suffering, O'Connor's framework becomes subjective and utilitarian. It cannot account for the universal conviction that certain actions, such as genocide or slavery, are intrinsically wrong regardless of their consequences. Christian perspective. Christianity explains the existence of objective moral values as a reflection of God's character. This grounding aligns with human moral intuition and provides a basis for universal ethical principles. C. The transformative power of faith. Throughout history, countless individuals have testified to the transformative power of faith in their lives. From addicts finding freedom to martyrs enduring persecution with joy, these experiences point to the reality of God's presence. O'Connor's view. O'Connor often dismisses such testimonies as psychological phenomena or coincidences. However, this explanation fails to account for the consistency and depth of these transformations across cultures and contexts. Christian perspective. Christianity affirms that God works in the lives of individuals, bringing about genuine transformation through the Holy Spirit. These experiences correspond to the biblical narrative and provide powerful evidence of the faith's truth. 4. The explanatory power of Christianity. When measured against the test of correspondence, Christianity emerges as a worldview that aligns with reality in a way that naturalism cannot. Its claims about the origins of the universe, the nature of morality, and the purpose of life provide coherent and comprehensive explanations for the evidence we observe. Origins. Christianity explains the universe's existence as the result of a purposeful creator, addressing the questions of why and how it began. Morality. Christianity grounds objective moral values in God's character, providing a universal standard that aligns with human intuition. Meaning. Christianity offers a transcendent purpose for human life, fulfilling the universal longing for significance. Transformation. Christianity accounts for the radical changes seen in individuals and communities throughout history, consistent with its claims about God's redemptive work. Conclusion. Christianity and reality. Alex O'Connor's naturalistic atheism fails the test of correspondence. Its explanations for the universe, morality, and human experience are inconsistent with the evidence, and often rely on speculative assumptions. By contrast, Christianity provides a coherent and reality-aligned framework that addresses the deepest questions of existence. The test of correspondence reveals that Christianity is not only rational, but also deeply rooted in the reality we observe. It aligns with history, science, and human experience, offering a comprehensive understanding of the world that naturalism cannot match. In rejecting this worldview, O'Connor's critiques ultimately fall short, leaving his own perspective unable to account for the richness and complexity of reality.